Crossovers are some of the most popular forms of media out right now. Last decade they've been really big, but they've always been pretty big. Seeing two characters or franchises collaborate. Some famous examples. Crossovers. I would say like Batman and Superman. I mean, sure they share the same universe, but Batman has his own villains, his own city. Superman, same thing. When they cross over, it's like two titans just collaborating. I wouldn't say colliding. Uh, you know, Extends to movies. Some of the biggest movies of the last decade have been the Marvel crossover movies. The Avengers, the last two Avengers movies, Infinity War and Endgame, where all the characters come together as one, like big unit to fight one strong enemy. Or the Spider-Man No Way Home movies, which had the all three of the live-action Spider-Man actors, come together, and that was a huge, huge deal. I think it almost made $2 billion or something like that. It's not just limited to film either. It appears in video games. I'd say video games are probably the best example of crossovers. I the most famous one, the most famous example that is would be the Super Smash Bros. Series, right? It's a crossover fighting game between all these different characters from video games, right? You have Mario from the Super Mario series, Link from Legend of Zelda, Samus from Metroid, Donkey Kong from, well, Donkey Kong, right? But it's not just limited to Nintendo characters only. You have crossovers with third-party characters, right? I mean, some of the most famous examples of characters. I mean, you can't have third parties without Sonic the Hedgehog from Sonic the Hedgehog. Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. He's always a great pick. Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. Bayonetta from the Bayonetta series. But there's one character that is missing from those games that I think should be added, and it is Dante from the Devil May Cry series. Now, technically, Dante is in fact in Super Smash Bros. Right? He is a Mii costume. You can play as a Mii sword fighter as Dante, but that is not truly a crossover. It's not like Dante isn't like familiar with crossovers either. You know, he's appeared in the Marvel vs. Capcom series. He was a very very popular pick in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and its updated version, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Almost always near the top tier, just slightly below some of the other characters. Zero, Phoenix, his own brother, Virgil. But Dante's always been a very popular character, incredibly stylish, some of the coolest abilities in the game, long combos, incredibly creative, very fun voice acting. He's not just so he has experience being a crossover fighting game character. He also has experience in some other non-fighting games. I mean, you can call it maybe, but on mobile there is Capcom's card game kind of Tekken, which is a crossover with a lot of Capcom franchises. You got Ryu from Street Fighter, the monsters from Monster Hunter. I believe there are Resident Evil characters in that game. I could be wrong. I'll check later. But one of them is the Devil May Cry series that is featured, and they have two characters. They have Nero from Devil May Cry 5 and Dante from all of the Devil May Cry games because he's the main character. So he's able to appear in some other non-fighting game crossovers. So I don't see why Dante isn't in Smash, right? Should have been added, but no, it's okay. What I want to see is not only Dante in Smash, though. I want to see him in everything. You know, he needs to appear in just anything. Put him in Fortnite, right? I mean, Fortnite has a lot of video game crossovers. God of War, Halo, Metal Gear Solid, Fallout, The Witcher, etc. Even stuff with Capcom, they have crossovers with the Street Fighter series and Resident Evil. So I mean, it's not like Capcom has never put, what is it? Capcom has never put their characters into Fortnite. So they could definitely add Dante, and he'd fit the style very well. He uses guns a lot. He uses a lot of guns. You could add Dante to. You just add him to a lot of stuff, right? Put him in Rocket League. Why not? Give him a car or whatever. Make him an announcer. That'd be pretty fun. Or add him to some video games that he might not be used to. Add him to platformer games. Why don't we add him to the next Super Mario Bros. Game? We don't need like 4 versions of Toad. I say we kick out Yellow Toad again. Don't let him come back. You can have Dante, Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Blue Toad, and they can just run around. Give Dante the ability to use Devil Trigger or whatever, and you can just zoom around the stage. Add Dante to the Metroid series. Metroid Prime 4 is coming out. Well, I think it's time for Dante to show up and be an enemy for Samus, or he can give you an item. You know, Elden Ring Night Rain. It's a roguelike coming out based around the Elden Ring world. Why don't you have one of those secret bosses, right? Do it like Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2 style. Secret Fighters, Reptile Jade, all those. Put him in as a secret boss. One in, like, I don't know, 400 chance of getting him, but then you get to fight Dante. You beat him? You didn't really beat him. He just fucks off. Uh, put him in. Put him in Mortal Kombat, even though Capcom owns Street Fighter. Why? I mean, Dante, come on. He's a devil hunter. Got a lot of cool moves. Got a lot of guns, swords. He's got Devil Trigger as an install. Put him in Guilty Gear if you want to do installs. You could do a lot with him. You don't even have to just put him in video games. Why isn't he in more like movies and television? Put him in. Put him in the next Avengers movie. Put him in there. Just let him come through the portal. Everyone's all grouping up. Iron Man, Captain America, the Hulk, Thor, Dante, Black Widow. I mean, come on. It's just money printing, right? Put him in the next SpongeBob episode or something. He just shows up. He's not even animated to look like Sponge. It's just Devil May Cry 5 Dante. He just shows up and he wants pizza or something. I don't fucking know. Capcom could do so much with Dante and they just don't. The lead director for the Devil May Cry series left Capcom recently after Dragon's Dogma 2 fucking plummeted in its sales. So it's not like they're going to make a new Devil May Cry anytime soon. Last time they did it without that guy, you know what happened? We got DMC 2013. Absolutely horrible game. Terrible westernized version of the Devil May Cry series. Did not enjoy that game. So, instead of just leaving Dante to be eternally stuck as a fucking costume for Monster Hunter or even Street Fighter, he was a costume in Street Fighter 5 for Ken, you could just let him just go full reign, crossover with everything, Why limit it to video games, movies, television? Have him cross over in the real world. Have Dante show up in law firm commercials, Have him appear as a McDonald's employee or something, Why limit it to that? Have Dante be a member of the presidential cabinet, right? Have him be an advisor. That'd be pretty cool. Have Dante just appear in anything, right? Oh, but Capcom, they don't like money. They don't like it at all. So they're not gonna do it. They're just gonna let Dante sit and rot eternally over in their little just never. I do know there's the DMC anime coming out on Netflix, and I hope that does well because it will bring more attention to the franchise that it so desperately deserves. But until then, I guess he's stuck, just endlessly rotting, being stuck as a Monster Hunter crossover skin or a little crossover character whenever Capcom decides they want money, it just hit my head like a lightning bolt. Like, you should add Dante to Zenless Zone Zero. It's a very popular game right now, big gacha game. Some of the characters in that game are just DMC characters, right? You got Miyabi, she is just Virgil. Billy, he is just like Dante. Why have second grade Dante when you could have fucking Dante himself? Just put him in the game, put him in the gacha banner, get him a lot of money off of that, Capcom. You could get a ton of money. But no, you're just going to let him rot. Let him sit there and rot in Monster Hunter for the rest of the time. I don't know. That's just all I think. Put him in fucking Smash.